Hey friends, it's Leah from Charlie Darwin Textiles, and if you can believe it, it is that time of year again to pick the next sewing pattern that I'm going to digitize and put up for sale for you guys to make in your own unique way. So I'm going to be presenting 4 different designs to you today, and they're all pretty warm weather designs because this pattern is most likely going to be released in the last week of April. So we'll just be getting into that spring warmth, people sewing garments for the summertime. And each of the 4 designs that I'm about to show you, I've sewn many times in many different sizes. I'm also going to be sending it through at least 20 different pattern testers in different sizes so that it has been workshopped quite thoroughly. And once you've seen all 4 of our options, stick around for all 4, then go over to the survey that's in the link in the description below. That's where you can vote for which pattern you want me to make next. All right, let's dive in. All right, our 4 options today consist of all one-piecers. So they're all like one and done. You put it on, you don't really need to match anything else with it. It's either a dress or a jumpsuit, although some of them, as we'll see, could be turned into tank tops to be used as separates. So let's get into it. Our 4 options are gonna be the Mantis Dress, Argent and Sable dress, the Heron Dress, and the Junebug Jumpsuit. And as you can tell, I think I look pretty good in indigo blue because that's what I made 3 out of these 4 outfits in for myself. But you could do whatever fabrics and colors that you want with them. The first up to bat is the Mantis Dress. This design I put out in my Made to Measure collection in, I think, spring of 2024, maybe. I created it to wear to my cousin's wedding because I wanted something I could wear braless that still looked a little bit like elegant in linen. I use a linen that's not particularly shiny or anything to make it look fancy, and so to give a more formal silhouette, I went with this very straight silhouette with a fully lined bodice. And it does have bust darts, so you would be able to adjust for full bust adjustment if you need to. Gives a little bit of shaping in that area, but it does not taper in at the waist at all. The dress itself has a very straightforward silhouette with that long side slit so that you have a lot of mobility in your legs. Of course, you could adjust how high you want that slit to go up on the leg. You can see the back view right here is also very plain and simple. And as far as how we could add some variations into this sewing pattern, I have a few ideas, and of course you can always in the survey send me some more variation ideas, but I'm going to show you here in photos, and some of them I generated with AI. It really helps me be able to communicate better what I'm trying to depict to you quickly. All the images that I have adjusted using AI, I noted it here just so we're on the same page of what's real and what's fake. On the Mantis Dress, I can add into the pattern some variations for length. So I'm showing you here what it could look like midi, but we could also do an above the knee option. Or you can see we could also do a tank top only, and we can also add waist ties if we want. So waist ties would give you a little bit of shaping around that waistline. Waist ties, of course, you can tie in just the front or just the back for a clean look on either side. And then, of course, pockets. This dress actually, in its original design, has no pockets built in, which is insane. I know, that is so against all of my principles. But for that wedding, I wanted something just really slim and a little bit fancier. And I could bake into the design or make it a removable element to do pockets. So I don't know what kind of pockets we would want to do, if we want to do patch pockets on front, or as you're going to see in the next garment, I can do these really deep pockets that are behind the skirt. We could do inseam pockets, but I'm not a huge fan of sewing those or just the flappiness that they cause in a dress like this. So this is our Mantis dress. Let's move on to our next option, which is the Argent and Sable dress. This is one of the earlier designs I put out on Charlie Darwin, maybe all the way back in like 2021, perhaps. And this dress is something that I made because I wanted something easy to throw on in the summer. It's really nice because, again, it is a fully lined bodice, so I don't have to wear a bra. And so the fully lined bodice gives you a little bit extra security and opacity up top, but it also has that button front, which makes it easy to take on and off. Because this has a little bit of a smaller neckline, you won't be able to get your head out without undoing that top button or two. So this dress, again, like the other one, could have waist ties that wrap around the front or wrap around the back. And this dress also has bust darts, which help give a little bit of shaping in that bodice, although I will say this bodice is, as you can see in the second photo, it has some roominess to it. It's not roomy in the underarm armpit area. That's nice and like appropriately sized, but the bodice itself has a little bit extra room because it just like flows right out A-line into the skirt. So the bust darts are gonna add some shaping, but it's not totally a huge factor here just because we've got a little bit more flowiness up top. And then the really cool part about this dress is its big pockets. So the pockets go really deep and they're very like flat against the dress. And here you can see the back of the dress. It's very just plain and simple casual dress. Some variations that we could do. Again, we've got some AI images, pardon me, but we could do length. You could do a maxi version of this dress. I think that looks really cute. And my favorite one is adding shoulder ruffles into the seam there, into the lined bodice seam. I think that could be insanely cute. The tank top only version, again, very cute. I think if we cut it off right at that waistline, it might be a little bit too crop top for most of us. So it would probably still have this under bust, like a waistline seam, and then it would be the skirt piece that we're shortening into like the continuation of the bodice, if that makes sense. And then the last thing, of course, we could trade off if you want pockets or not. I could make the pattern so that you could do it either way. All right, our next design is the Heron Dress. I just put out this design a year ago, so in 2025, and it is another just like classic fave. I love this one. I wore it a ton last summer. It's inspired by just like farmhouse, comfy, chic. I don't know. I love it though, and it's super simple to throw on over a bathing suit or to just go out in the summer days. It's very flowy, loose, but still cute, simple. So this dress has a dolman bodice, which just means it doesn't have any shoulder seams. The sleeves are baked into the bodice piece, which makes it very easy to sew. And it does give you that little bit of a bat wing underarm, so that's an element of it. And it has a drawstring waist. You could technically make this dress, when I make the pattern, we can do it so that you could either do the drawstring or not. That could be optional. But that drawstring can tighten to really cinch, or it could loosen all the way up to give you the more boxy feel. And then it has, in the original design, a big ruffle at the bottom of the skirt to add some drama and flair, as well as big pockets. These are the same, nearly the same. I think they're pretty close to the pocket design in the Argent and Sable dress. Now, looking at the variations that we could do with Heron, it gets super fun. We could change the length. As you can see here, we could do an above the knee dress with the ruffle still, or as you can see in the third picture, you could do no bottom ruffles. But if you want to maximize the ruffles, which I know some of us are big ruffle heads, I just think linen looks so good in ruffles because it's so wrinkly already that it amplifies that quality of linen. So as we have seen on one of my past patterns, the Sanctuary jumpsuit, I have a very similar bodice for that jumpsuit, and it has some ruffles after the short sleeve. So that's an element that we could add in. And then of course the pocket ruffles are also optional, and even the pockets in general would be optional on this, just like the last dress. All right, our fourth and last option for the next pattern. I have presented this one a couple times now. I'm gunning for it, guys. I love this one. I tell you every time that I wear this jumpsuit all the time, and it keeps getting outshone by the other patterns in the lineup the last two times we voted, but it will get its time in the sun eventually. I know it. The Junebug jumpsuit is got a dolman bodice again. Okay, so that's missing that shoulder seam, gives you a little bit of that bat wing underarm area. This also has an elastic waist, but I make sure to give instructions for doing it really just the right amount. I don't like a really tight elastic waistband that bugs you. It's just enough to cinch it in so that you get some shaping, but not so much that you feel like you're wearing underwire of a bra or anything like that. It does have a high waist line, which is something that I'll show you in the pattern, like how you can adjust that waistline if you want to do it lower on your body. And of course, all that gets baked into the height adjustments that I'll show you how to do as well. The Junebug jumpsuit has, again, of course, big pockets. I do patch pockets on the front for this one. I think they look good silhouette-wise because this is like a boxy jumpsuit and we're just doing like a boxy pocket on top. But pockets are also such an easy thing to change the shape of, especially like patch pockets. If you wanted to play around with something that's more rounded or something cool, you could always change that up on here. This jumpsuit has a boat neckline, and it also, if you're wondering like how am I going to get in and out of this jumpsuit, it is so simple. I wanted intentionally to make this very easy to get in and out of. The one button at the top is what gets you out, and then it's like a flapping system, so it just peels down and you take it off like a pair of pants. It's not that hard. It's the simplest jumpsuit I've ever gotten in and out of. It takes you 1 second to get out of it. So let's look at some variations for the Junebug. Of course, we could change the length. It could become more of like a romper instead of a jumpsuit. So we could do shorts length on it or capris. We could add sleeve ruffles, and we could do the hem style in all different formats. So if you remember on my most recent pattern before this, the Olean pants, I introduced 4 different hem styles. We could do the button roll-up tab, the drawstring ankles, just like a straight leg, or an elastic ankle that's like a jogger style. So all of these are options, and of course we could also add freaking ruffles to the bottom hem. As we can see in this last photo, you can see that we could do a couple things of dropping out the elastic in the waistband, and AI did an okay job at this. It still cinched it a little bit, but basically it would become more of just like a fluid, flowy, boxy jumpsuit without the elastic in there. I've done this with my Sanctuary romper in the shorts version, and it's just really fluid, fun, playful, so that would be an option as well. I know it's going to be really hard to choose, but I need you to do it. I need you to help me. I can't do it myself. I love it when you guys pick for me. It makes my life so much easier. I love all these designs because obviously I came up with them. So they're all personal faves. All right, it's been real. I will see you guys soon with another video, and I hope that life has given you some special moments lately. I hope that something good this week has tickled your nose hairs and put a little breeze in your butt. All right, I don't know how to end a video still after 2.5 years of being on YouTube. So here we go. Bye.